Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. Kicking off the 2015 Encores season is the delightful Gershwin musical Lady Be Good, which will run from February 4th through the 8th. It features choreography by Randy Skinner and is directed by Mark Brokaw. The cast includes Colin Donnell, Patty Murin, Douglas Sills, and 9-time Tony Award winner Tommy Tune. And we dropped by the rehearsal studio to bring you a sneak peek and to meet the company. Well, first of all, welcome to the world of Encores. How does it feel?
Making a debut at this point in my life is wonderful. And Encores, of course, I'm a fan of Encores, so this is exciting for me.
What has it been like so far? How many rehearsals have you had already for Lady Be Good?
Oh, weeks. They had to start really early with the older members of the cast.
So what has it been like so far for you, Tommy?
I haven't danced anybody else's choreography in 30 years, so I'm dancing Randy Skinner's choreography, which is magnificent, but all different. So I'm doing all new steps, and I'm having a great time learning them. I think this is very good for my old brain to, really have to learn something new. So I feel rejuvenated.
Well, let's talk about living in the Gershwin world. I mean, you've lived in this world before, winning Tony Awards, so my one and only. What is it like living in the Gershwin world?
I am a Gershwin tune. How about you? I love this. I love their songs. I really do. And of course, Rhapsody in Blue is one of my favorite classical pieces. They did, I think, 14 shows. So, and this was Lady Be Good was the first show that they did together, which is wonderful. He had just written Rhapsody in Blue, so he was coming off of that, and he came right into writing these ditties, and they're so much fun to sing. I get to sing Fascinating Rhythm, which is fascinating. It's a fascinating song. It's very complicated. Very, he was breaking the mold from the European tradition, the operetta tradition. He was bringing jazz onto Broadway. So there are little hints and glimpses of this new thing called jazz in these sweet little songs. So it's fun to see the influence.
Tell me what you admire the most about what Encores does.
Well, they find these lost pieces or not totally hit pieces and bring them back, and you understand why they were done in the first place. And of course, this one was a real test for the music department to find the lost pieces of music. There's very little of the original orchestration left, so Rob Fisher has reconstructed it authentically with great love. It's exciting. We're going to hear this. We're going to the Sitzprobe tomorrow. That's when we hear the orchestra for the first time. We all sit down and listen to the orchestra. So I'm very excited about that. We haven't had that yet.
So here we are. First of all, welcome back to Encores for you. This is your first?
This is my first one.
All right, so what has he told you?
He hasn't really told me a lot. He told me how much fun it is. Everyone's told me how much fun it is. I've done the Muni a couple times, so I know the whole thing about putting up a show in like 4 minutes. But it still really doesn't prepare you for the middle of the week crazy right now.
For you being back, what it's like being in this room?
I mean, it's awesome. And I have had the pleasure over the last week or so just to be able to come in and sort of watch things happening as opposed to madly figuring things out, and I think it's so wonderful. I mean, Tommy Tune tap dancing over lunch and watching Patty and Danny rehearse their numbers has just been amazing. I think people are in for a real treat.
Does it make it easier or less stressful when you've done some already? You're like, I sort of know how it's done. We only have 11 days or something. We're shot out of a cannon.
Well, I think it's easier when you're not teaching yourself how to play piano either. But it really, yeah. I mean, you sort of prepared for it coming in. But we were just saying on the way from the subway this morning, it was like, holy crap, in a week we're going to be open.
Yay!
But it doesn't give you all that time to like fret over stuff. You make choices with your director and choreographer, and you just go out there and do what you guys do best.
Exactly.
And everyone comes in knowing exactly what's happened. We're carrying our books, so it's no secret that this is technically a staged production, even though it's full dance numbers and whatnot. But it really, you're right. It doesn't give you the time to sort of like stress out. It's like, okay, we're doing this, go, and then it's over.
Now let's talk about this show. Did you know the music before?
I knew the big ones, Fascinating Rhythm and Lady Be Good, but other than that, most of the songs that I sang, I had never heard before. And the one song, The Man I Love, that's a big classic, they actually took out because they just couldn't find a place for it in the show. And now having gone through the show, I agree, there's no spot to put that song in.
I'm going to make her sing it for me at some point, though.
I hope so. Talk about the roles that you play.
I play Susie Trevor, and her and her brother, Dick Trevor, they have just been tossed out of their house, and they're poor, and they are basically looking for a way to get back on their feet. And Susie is... I love Susie so much. She is so much fun. She does what she has to do, doesn't care what other people think of her, even if it includes possibly impersonating a Mexican widow or dressing up as a Swiss yodeler and doing a whole number. She's so bizarre, but like I love her so much. Yeah.
And for you, who do you play in this zany show?
Exactly. I play Jack Robinson. I am a hobo coming home from Mexico who happens to run across Susie, who's been tossed out on the street.
And she likes him because he's a hobo.
Yes, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
And then things happen over the course of the play, and maybe I'm not a hobo anymore, but I do fall in love with a beautiful hobo-ess. So...
My world is Broadway world.
I love that. So here we are back in this wonderful rehearsal room.
Yes, where you and I have stood many times.
I think we sort of the first one here.
Maybe so. I mean, I certainly did all the first few years of everything.
I did too.
Okay, so here we are. Don't we look good?
You look amazing. Yes, we do look good. Tell me what it's like working on Lady Be Good and this detective work you've had to putting together the orchestration.
It's been a fantastic opportunity and challenge for me. I'm crazy about the Gershwin music, always have been, kind of know every note they wrote, but I thought it was a tragedy that the first show George and Ira got to do together is not really available for people to enjoy and explore the way we should. There were 5 or 6 scores, full scores, orchestra scores for the show, which is less than 20% of the show. But from those scores, we knew the orchestra, what the makeup of the orchestra was, and how things were scored. There are some recordings from the period of the London production, and we knew sort of got a sound from that. Then the most fantastic thing is that George played the piano for Fred and Adele to sing several songs. So we know for me as a musician, to hear the amount that George was swinging the music in 1924, because we don't think of that happening for another 10 years or so. But George was really swinging hard in 1924, and we could hear his tempo, his style, his intention, and the way Fred and Adele attacked vocally the music. It reveals so much. So we're trying to use every bit of that information in the way we present it. The other thing that's amazing is his first time, George had heard 2 pianos in Paul Whiteman's orchestra earlier in 1924 when he did Rhapsody in Blue, and he said, I want that in my show. It gives such a rhythmic pop to everything. I need that. So it was the first time, I think the first time a Broadway show, but certainly George's first time using 2 pianos in a show, and he used it in most of his subsequent shows in the 20s. So we'll have that 2 piano team up there. Fortunately, Arden and Oman, that team recorded a lot at that time, so we knew how and what they played. So we've been transcribing that, and it comes together from all kinds of directions, from the programs, from the reviews. The reviews talked about Arden and Oman, so we knew when they were featured based on reviews, because it's not really written down otherwise, but reviews and programs and then those recordings have helped us.
Putting this puzzle together must be like the best thing that's ever happened to you, or one of the best things, right? I mean, sleuthing this whole thing.
It is. I love the sleuthing part and the piecing it back together. and because I shouldn't be talking about the other show, but because the day after this closes, I'm back into rehearsal for An American in Paris. That's another kind of piecing together, also piecing together and also trying to stay in George's vocabulary full time, but a really different kind of piecing together. So it's been, for me, how lucky could I be to have these two things basically simultaneous in my life?
It's like the year of Gershwin.
All Gershwin all the time is what I say when I answer the phone now.
So here we are, back in the Encores rehearsal room. How do you two feel?
Scared, terrified.
I have PTSD from the last time I was here.
It never goes away, does it?
It doesn't. Nightmares. Nightmares.
But isn't it exciting, though? It's like what Tommy Tune said. It's like doing glamorous summer stock. You go in there, you make your choices, and you just do it. It's what you all used to do. You're so good at what you guys do. You just make your choices and go, right?
Never feel confident. Never feel confident. Not even. Every choice I've made so far is wrong, and every choice you've made is
Wrong.
wrong. So we'll see how it works when we do it for people.
No, it's going to be wonderful. Talk about what it's been like living in this Gershwin world.
Oh my God, I love this world. I've been in this world, I think 4 or 5 times over the past 20 years, and there's nothing sad about it. It's just a happy moment every time we come into the room, and silly songs, and also give up all that serious acting stuff like you do generally. Right?
I like to look at everything like Chekhov. I do the whole play like it's Uncle Vanya. And it gives me sort of a 3-dimensional quality to the work, because there's a lot of tragedy. A lot of tragedy in Gershwin. Actually, there is like a lot of... You hear the minor chords, and that's what's so full about it. It actually is kind of unusually dynamic. I think that's why everyone loves the music. So
You're unusually dynamic.
you say the sweetest
Today.
things.
Today.
Thank you.
Today.
Thank you.
Tell me who you play.
Josephine Vanderwater. You've heard of her. Everyone knows her. She's a debutante. As I said, she's a debutante, and she's a socialite. She still has retained her money. All of her friends have lost their money, but she doesn't care. She throws parties, and she falls in love with a poor boy who lost all his money, and she doesn't care. And then she falls in love with a crooked lawyer.
I force her to fall in love with me. I play this lawyer named J. Watterson Watkins, and his friends call him Waddles or Waddy. Jewish boy. No. And I'm a lawyer.
I just call you Whitey.
Whitey. And sort of an unscrupulous lawyer, although I think a moral judgment is not really my place, so I let other people judge him. And he woos Jen's character, and he also is sort of part of the engine of the plot, and that's fun. And
I thought I was the engine.
You are the engine. What's more important is that you think you're the engine.
I was told I have the most important scene in the play.
It's true, you
I set
do.
the action off.
And it's when Colin's in the room, we all play much harder. And he tells us when we're good and when we're bad. He's standing right off
You're
camera.
going to live up to your reputation, are you?
I am. And we just come in, and the nice thing about this setting is that everyone is so incredibly talented that it makes you want to be at your best when you come in. So you work harder. And also, there's no time for discussion or decisions.
No, just do it. Make a choice
You
and do
just
it.
come in and do it. It's kind of exciting that way.
And then there's the beautiful score.
Oh.
Talk about the songs that you do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best part. That's my favorite aspect of Encores, is that this giant symphony on stage, you never get to hear this beautiful music with that many instruments, and also they're on stage with you. There's nothing like that. In my life, I feel like that's one of the most rewarding experiences, to have the symphony right there with you. Yeah.
It's the first time this Beatles score has been found. It was part of the British invasion. We were just talking about it off camera.
I love
How
that.
unusual the lyric.
Love.
Dun, 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 dun,
Right.
right. Yeah. And you're gonna love it. It's very special. And we have special guest Adam Levine is going to be in the show. And then
He's my dresser.
There's jugglers. No.
You should go on the road. You two have. You got to go and do it.
Gershwins. It's the Gershwins. It's like royalty. You gotta come see them whenever you can.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing is that there were no orchestrations. They were all lost. I mean, Rob Fisher has pieced this back together again.
Yes, I can't even. They've researched so deeply with recordings of every sort that they could find anything they could get their hands on. There were entire pieces of the overture missing. It's remarkable what they did.
I have to make an announcement that I think somebody has to say it out loud. The score was completely intact. Rob couldn't play it, so he told everyone that he burned it. I mean, he burned it and he told everyone it never existed. And now he made one that's much easier to play. And it's really sad because you're never going to hear what they originally wanted.
I think that's funny.
It's a shame. It's a shame. The score was actually there, and Encores is embezzling the money that they say is going into restoration. Yeah, the whole score is actually there. It's all copied. It's all, their parts are all there. I just hit you in the breast. How did that feel?
Just like
Was that
every
good?
day. Every day.
They should do a behind the scenes at the rehearsals of Encores.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, because he undresses too often.
I have to start the day fresh. So I have to take off Douglas's clothes and I have to redress in front of everyone.
Yep.
So here we are back in the Encores room. How do you feel?
Really excited. You know, the last one I did was 2000, I think, on a clear day with Kristen Chenoweth.
So what is it like working here as a director? Tell me what, it's so quick.
You know, working on an Encores is fast and furious, but it is also some of the best fun you can have because you get to work on something you never get to work in any other situation, and you get to work on it with the best people possible in the most supportive environment possible, and then you get to do it on the stage at City Center, which is unlike any other place. So it's all good. No downside.
Well, speaking of good, let's talk about what attracted you to this show. Why did you want to do Lady Be Good?
Well, I'm a Gershwin fan, but this was a show I really didn't know at all. I knew the title, of course, because everybody knows the title song, and I knew Fascinating Rhythm, but when I read it, and I think anybody who's coming to see this will feel the same way, it is unlike anything you've ever seen. It's its own wacky, outrageous, fun mix of review, sketch comedy, vaudeville, the beginnings of what we think of as musical comedy. So it's its own wacky mix of all these different genres that were all starting to come together to form what we think of as musical comedy. And also, the score is incredible. You know, I knew the two songs, but the thing about the Gershwins is even the songs you don't know, you hear them once, and you just can't get them out of your head.
You've assembled a dynamite cast. Tell me about working with your cast.
I feel so lucky. You know, the great thing about Encores is you get, the pick of the litter in New York. You know, you get to choose from the best of the people working out there. And this is no different. Something is happening.
Mark, quick, we have an emergency. There's no more metal for taps on tap shoes. We don't know what we're going to do.
We're going to go to Tommy Toon's house, we're going to raid his closet, and we're going to get him from there.
All you have to do is say, raid Tommy Toon's closet, and we're in.
I've done it already.
See, that's the zany world you live in.
Exactly. That is the show in a nutshell.
I love that.
Yeah.
And working with Randy Skinner.
Oh, you know, I've never had the pleasure of working with him before. I've seen all of his shows, and he is the absolute perfect person for this. I can't think of anybody who knows this world, knows this world of tap and all the different dance genres that are used in the show. And what's great about him is he, just like Rob Fisher in the music, is really loyal to what is right for 1924, rather than trying to turn it into something full of modern steps or modern inventions. You're really going to get to see something with the flavor and of what you would have seen in 1924 in terms of the dance.
And then having Tommy Toon here.
It's incredible. You know, it's working with a legend. I can't think of anybody better to have filling that role in the show, or that audiences at City Center will be more happy to see when he comes out.
What gives you the biggest thrill and satisfaction with working at Encores?
I think the biggest thrill in working at Encores is having that 30-piece orchestra on stage. You know, you just don't get that. And they're not in a pit, they're not hidden. The sound, they're out there, they are the scenery for the show. And I think that's what really makes it special. For the audience, for me, you just don't get that kind of high anywhere else.
So here we are, back in the Encores room. How do you feel today?
It's exciting to work on this one because it's 1924, the earliest one they've ever done. And this is number 7 for me. So, but it's fast and furious, like always. You know, it's an intense 8 days, but we're having a ball. We're having a ball.
This is a magical studio. You spent a lot of time in this rehearsal studio, my friend, right?
Yeah, I love this studio because it's so huge. It's luxury to have this kind of a size of a room, so it makes the dancing really easy to rehearse. You don't always have that.
Well, let's talk about dancing. You are working with Tommy Tune.
Yes, we're reunited. You know, we go way back to Kenley Player days. Yeah, that's a long time ago, and it's been just a joy to be with him in a room and dancing again and creating 2 numbers for him, one in Act 1, one in Act 2. They're both so different, so it's thrilling. It's thrilling. I think the audiences are going to have a great time seeing Mr. Tune back on stage.
Because he said he is so excited to be dancing your choreography because he said, Richie, I've only danced my own for the longest time.
Yeah, that's the hardest part about anything when you get so used to doing your own club act or your own symphony dates. It's and I think he's really enjoyed it. You know, I keep pushing him. You know, and he's dancing.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't always see that. You know, when people make a reappearance, sometimes it's people play it safe, and we're not playing it safe. We're going for it.
Tell me what you love about Lady Be Good. I mean, and the orchestrations have all been put together all over again.
First and foremost, the music. I mean, my gosh, the Gershwin songs. It's like we always say when you work with composers like the Gershwins, Irving Berlin, Jerome Kern, even lesser-known songs or unknown songs are just incredible. And that's what makes those kind of composers so unique and special. Is just the tunes. They're just so tuneful and melodic. And so that's been the real fun of it, is to rediscover all this music.
And you've assembled a dynamite cast.
Yeah, the best. I mean, Encores gets that. That's the nice thing about Encores. It's short, it's intense, and you get the best. You get the best.
Tell me what Encores means to you, being here so many times, what this organization means to you, and the type of things they do.
Well, what they're doing to really promote seeing shows that you don't get to see. You know, they always include one each season. Not this season. This season it's all pretty rare. But it's just fun to rediscover these things, particularly ones like this one that nobody knows. I did another one, Face the Music. Same thing, where you really, it's discovering it. It's digging deep to get the charts, to get the orchestrations, to fill in the gaps that are not there, that have been lost. And in fact, in the fascinating rhythm number, the tail end of it, which we're going to do today, Rob Fisher discovered a manuscript of Gershwin music that has never been heard, and we're putting it in the number, which is thrilling. You know, it's great music.
It's like a brand new show.
It feels like it. To the cast, too, because, again, nobody knows it.
This is a first for both of you, right? Tell me.
Yeah, this is my first time. I've always wanted to do an Encores. I've seen a couple, and I've had so many friends who've done them and just said what a blast it is. So I'm just thrilled I'm getting to be part of one.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting. I've seen Encores. I've, wanted to do it for years, and so I'm just ecstatic to be with this cast and doing this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so fast the way it's done. What do you have, 11 days and you're shot out of the cannon?
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what it is. I know someone mentioned you open next week, and I was like, yeah, I guess so.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
You know, you're all so good at what you do. It's like what Tommy Tune was saying. It's like glamorous summer stock.
It really is. I mean, it has the feel of summer stock, in terms of how quick it is. But, everyone is so incredible. Everyone just throws themselves into it and makes incredibly bold and brilliant choices. And, it's just really fun.
And everyone's so ready to do it and excited, and it makes it easy in that way. Yeah.
Okay, tell me what it's been like living in this Gershwin world.
Beautiful and wonderful Gershwin loveliness. I mean, I just, it's beautiful, smart, incredible music that we're getting to discover for the first time, a lot of it, because a lot of it are not his most well-known tunes, Some of them are, but there's some real gems in there.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I've loved Gershwin since I was 10 years old, and it's so exciting to be able to do it with this full of an orchestra. So
What are some of the songs you each do?
We sing Half of It Dearie Blues together, which is a great song, which was familiar to me, but not something I knew super well, and it's been really fun to just dig into that one.
yeah, I get to sing "Hang On to Me," which is a great song between me and my sister in the show, and then "I'd Rather Charleston," which they added later into the run, and
Swiss Miss.
"Swiss Miss," which is
a
a great patter song,
really
which I didn't
funny
know,
song.
but it's so exciting and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they always have these zany scripts. Who do you each play?
Oh yeah, this one's zany. I play Shirley Vernon, who is Dick Trevor's love interest, and we sort of spend the show just trying to get together somehow.
Yeah, and I play Dick Trevor, who gets thrown out of his estate at the beginning of the show, and tries to figure out how him and his sister can have a life from then on, and find the love of their lives.
Talk about working with this cast and your brilliant choreographer Randy Skinner and director Mark Brokaw.
Yeah. Well, you definitely have been working with Randy a ton because of
Yes,
dance.
it's been. I love working with Randy. The amount of knowledge he has about the style and the time period is amazing, and it's all encapsulated in him and his choreography. So it's always such a huge learning experience to work with him.
So this is your second Encores. Welcome back. How do you feel?
I feel so excited to be here. I love this show. I love doing an Encores. It's fast, it's furious, but I love it.
Okay, what do you do in the show?
I play Daisy Park. I am in love with Bertie Bassett, who is played by the phenomenal Jeff Hiller, and we're a very serious couple. No, just kidding. We are the couple that is in love from the beginning to the end, all the way through. We're madly in love with each other. We have one small problem, which is that he keeps seeing purple lizards everywhere.
Okay, let's talk about living in this zany world.
We buy into it. It's all about the sincerity of it, right? And the thing I love about Daisy is that she loves him madly and with every bit of her heart, and she fights for him. So that's the joy that this show brings, I think.
And that is the Gershwin score.
Well, yeah, I mean they're good. I think they're going to go places. I think they're really good. You've got fascinating rhythm. You've got Tommy Tune. You've got this amazing Encores production. What more do you want?
Tell me what you love the most, because you did Superman here before. What you love about working at Encores?
The talent is incredible. I get to walk in every day and I get to say, "Hi, Tommy Tune, how are you?" Like, that's pretty incredible. That's a dream come true. And I love that it is Fast and Furious, but we really delve into these old shows, into the nitty-gritty of it. And that's something that we just don't get to do a lot of times in our jobs. So I really value this time as like something that's really important and really important to the future of musical theater, even though it's all about the past.
This is your first Encores. How does it feel?
It feels exciting and terrifying because they make you say all the words, and so you have to do that. But we've only been here for a week. It's I don't know if anybody said it, but it's a real fast process. It's shockingly fast.
But that's really good, though. It's what you're all good at doing. You make those choices and just go for it.
Yeah, it really is. It's about making a bold choice and just holding on for the ride. The train is leaving the station.
Have you seen other Encore shows?
I have very long ago. I haven't in a while, and now thinking back, I'm like, wow, that was really good. That's really impressive that they did that.
That's how it's done.
Yeah, exactly. But who knew? I mean, it's a real testament to these performers. I hope I don't screw it up.
You're going to be great. Tell me who you play in the show.
I play Bertie Bassett, who is a nice young man who's trying to be a house detective and has a slight addiction to alcohol. Just slight. Okay. In a fun musical comedy way.
In that zany musical comedy way. Who's your sidekick?
My sidekick is Daisy Park, played by Kirsten Wyatt, and we are in Lerv, and we are shockingly different heights.
Tell me what you love about living in this zany Gershwin world.
It feels like coming home. It feels like real musical theater where you know when the song ends and you have love and everyone ends up happy. It feels nice, and also the words are so brilliant. They're so witty and wordy. It's great.
And working with this cast.
Oh my gosh! I mean, Tommy Tune. That's pretty impressive, right? I just loved watching him at the table read, like moving his little feet, marking the dance. I was like, wow, this is legendary. But the entire cast is amazing, and picking it up like this. Everyone.
And you have your brilliant choreographer Randy Skinner and director Mark Brokaw. What it's like working with them?
Well, both of them are so smart and have taken, what seems like a fluffy little moment and made it into brilliance, and so quickly. Everything is so fast, and they're able to do it so wonderfully and so quickly.
Okay, so I know it's only like the first week. If you could sum up the best part of the experience so far for you with working on Encores, what has it been?
I think the best part has really just seen other people who are so talented at what they do bring magic right away. It's so wonderful to see that. It's like kind of brings a slight musical theater tear to the eye.
Enjoy this journey. There's nothing like it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're really right.